Hi, welcome to the second part of the video where we're going to discuss from J onwards. So Jsw Steel, Jindal Steel, sorry, and Jsw Steel also both are in a box. At least Jindal Steel went towards the levels of 409 and it was able to close above 400. So let's see अगर इसमें कोई further movement आई. Jubilant Food is also more in a box. Kotak Bank at least was able to consolidate at 2000 levels, though it gave a closing below 2000, but still I think the structure is still valid for me. L&T Finance Housing also, this is making a sort of indecisive moves at this 90 levels, or also Lal Path Lab after it was इस दिन मैं बोला था this is a typical bearish move and any move which will come below 3950, और वहाँ से हमने देखा कि it was able to correct towards 3500. Similarly अगर 3500 भी अगर breach करती है it will come towards the levels of 3000 or at least 3200. LSE Housing Finance is also more in a box. Nice consolidation has been happening. Let's see अगर ये 450 के ऊपर एक अच्छी closing देती है. LT is also more in a box. ये अच्छी all time high बनाई थी, and after that there has been strings of red candles which actually showcases, but at least you can see that it was able to consolidate at 1700 levels. Going forward, of course, it will try to consolidate more over at 1700 and 1800 levels के बीच में. LTI also, we have been carrying positions. This looks not a good structure. अगर ये 6000 के ऊपर जल्दी से क्लोजिंग नहीं देती है, maybe it will correct more and even it can breach the levels of 5500. And I already discussed my strategy in IT sector in general in my previous video in part 1, जो आपको अपना राइट कॉर्नर में मिल जाएगी, or even it will be there at the end of this video. LTTS at least is better than LTI and it's actually able to hold the levels of 4500. जब तक 4500 के नीचे क्लोजिंग नहीं आती, we should not be worried. Lupin also, we discussed how a strong closing about 950 is important, and this is exactly what it did. Let's see इसके follow up candle कैसी होती है. In general, जब तक ये 1000 के ऊपर नहीं जाती, it will try to consolidate between this range. M&M, exactly, we traded this and it closed at a nearby day's high at 830 levels, and the reason was it started and dipped towards 780 790 levels. जब ये 806 को breach की, we created positions and I tweeted about it, and also when it was consolidating at 825 levels, I said that a closing above 826 would be something which is going to be good, and this is exactly it was able to do that. Going forward, 840 850 levels में ये कैसे behave करती है, that would be of interest to us. M&M Finance also fantastic consolidation हो रही है, and after that is very much near to multi-session high, and going forward maybe a level of 200 would be achievable in the short term. Manappuram also gave us a very good, actually I tweeted about Manappuram and I actually said that this is going strong together with the Muthoot Finance over here. Both of them, ये 1500 जब breach की, we created positions and from there it went towards 1540 levels. Manappuram also, when this consolidation was happening, we said it's going to be a good move, and at least it was able to move towards 180. We are in Muthoot Finance because from a structure perspective I prefer Muthoot over Manappuram. Manappuram was actually making good moves above 200 220 levels, and from there it corrected towards 150. Then after a long consolidation, it's now trying to come out, and so we have to see how it moves. Sorry. Marico, we have discussed how the FMCG sector in general is working in my previous video where we discussed in Hindustan Unilever, Godrej Consumer Products, Dabur, and Marico is also nothing different, same structures and same consolidation. Maruti, there was a gap down opening and it was at least able to hold the level, and so going forward 7500 के ऊपर closing में ही इसमें strength आएगी, but going forward I think again अगर ये 7000 के नीचे अगर आ गई और अगर closing दी, so then again this will totally invalidate this good move, and then eventually it can again start correcting towards 6600 6800 levels. McDowell, we were interested, we talked about how this is a good move, and we compared McDowell United Spirits against UBL, United Breweries, and we said that bank level looks good, and this is exactly what happened. Is creating new 52-week high, and going forward there is a lot of momentum to take it towards levels of 900, or at least the levels of 880. So right now it just went towards the levels of 870. So let's see अगर ये 880 890 इस levels को touch कर पाती है, that would be a technical target for the short term. और अगर ये 900 के ऊपर closing देती है, then there can be a good up move in terms of momentum. MCS is more in a box, nothing much. Metropolis also is trying to get some support from these levels of 2750 levels and 2600 levels. So let's see if it is able to continue it. In general, it's more in a box, and there's nothing for trading opportunity. MFSL, we have already discussed this strategy multiple times in the past videos. So it's more about in a box. So 1000 and 1100 इसके बीच में ही है. Good move if it has to come, it has to come. If it gives a strong closing above 1100, but I think going forward the levels of 1060 1070 will act like a resistance, and then we have to see how it moves from there. MGL also strong after a nice consolidation. It's now trying to enter the box 1200 or 1100 के बीच में. So we have to see how it moves. In general, though there's a lot of positive news flow happening, still the companies like IGL and MGL, they are not able to move forward, whereas you can see PSUs like GAIL is able to move forward, right? It just depends on how. So there are, see, when a company doesn't move, there are a lot of reasons, and the media is always there to give you a reason. So for this one, MGL and IGL, so the general consensus with the rise in the gas price, it won't be able to pass it on to the customers, and hence it will affect the profit of these companies. But I don't think that this is actually absolutely true, and so basically it's just a matter. For me, it's more like people trying to people just trying to give you a reason for a particular move in the stock, and I actually don't agree with that reason. Similarly, Mindtree अच्छी consolidation हो रही है. जब तक ये 4000 के नीचे closing नहीं देती है, there is nothing to worry. It's nice consolidating. One of these days I expect it to give you a strong closing and move towards 4400 4500. इसमें अगर होगी तो we would definitely be more creating more positions. In general, my IT strategy I have discussed in the part 1 of the video, and this also holds true for Mindtree. Motherson Sumi is also more in a box. Mfsl also is trying to hold the 3000 levels. अगर ये 3000 के नीचे अगर closing देती है, that would be detrimental for the stock, और भी ज़्यादा correct हो सकती है. MRF, there's nothing, it's more in a box. Muthoot Finance, as we already discussed, बहुत अच्छी strong move देती है. We have to see if this momentum at this time, ये लास्ट टाइम भी एक अच्छी मूव दी थी, एंड देन 1560 लेवल से ये करेक्ट होकर फिर 1450 तक आ गई थी. नाउ लेट्स सी इफ इट इज एबल टू कैरी फॉरवर्ड टुवर्ड्स अ न्यू ऑल टाइम हाई. नाम इंडिया आल्सो इज ट्राइंग टू मेक अ न्यू ऑल टाइम हाई. ये हमने ट्वीट किया था, वी क्रिएटेड मोशंस एंड देन वी बुक्ड हियर जब ये ऑल टाइम हाई बनाई थी, एंड देन अगेन इन द लास्ट सेशन वी डिस्कस्ड हाउ इट इज एबल टू होल्ड द लेवल ऑफ 420, and we are expecting it to move towards the levels of 460, and this is exactly why we created positions in Nam India, and we also created positions in Trent, and Trent actually gave us the move, and we went for a new all time high. So similar thing is going to come in India too. National Alam is also in a box between the levels of 85 and 100. Let's see if it is able to move past levels of 100. Naukri also after this scandal, these are not good structures, और अगर कोई भी move अगर 6400 के नीचे अगर आने लगी, it will automatically correct and go towards the levels of 6200. इसके लिए 6500 and especially 6400 6600 is a very important resistance right now. Let's see if it is able to at least move towards it. Navin Florin is also, after this breakdown, it has been trying to give a closing above 4000. It's unable to. We will be waiting it to correct more, or in other ways we would also be interested to see if it is moved towards the levels of 4000. Nestle India is also more in a box, so there's nothing much for us, and this is a typical structure which we are seeing in most of the FMCG companies, और वो उसकी strategy में part 1 of this video में discuss किया हूँ. NMDC is also more in a box. ATPC is also nicely consolidating at a 52-week high levels, so maybe we will see something. OFSS nothing much. ONGC good 52-week high बना रही है, very nice structure. अगर ये PSU नहीं होती then definitely we would have been trading this structure. और जब तक 140 के नीचे closing नहीं आती है, there is absolutely nothing to worry. Technical perspective, from a technical perspective, it should go towards the levels of 158. Page Industry is also in a box. There is nothing much we can trade in Page. PEL is also trying to hold this 2600 levels, which it has been doing a lot of times in the past. Going forward ये 2600 और 2800 के बीच में है, so let's see ये जब 2700 के ऊपर ट्रेड करना स्टार्ट करेगी, we would be creating positions like we did earlier, and ये मैं बहुत दिनों पहले से ही डिस्कस किया था over the weeks, how 2700 के ऊपर अगर मूव करने लगी then we will be creating positions, and we would be taking it towards 2800 plus levels. So this is the same strategy we are going to deploy. Petronet also, after making these structures, it's again correcting, so between 240 and 230 it's coming. Is more in a box, so we have to wait for a strong closing above 240. PFCB is more in a box, but at least you can see this is making a higher low structure. If it is able to hold the levels of 140 going forward, it can move even higher. Pfizer also is more in a box between 6000 and 5500, nothing much. Pidilite all time high यहाँ पे बनाई थी. We have talked about how I am still carrying the positions, and going forward I think फिर ये all time high के नज़दीक जाने की कोशिश करेगी, and in general I am very much bullish in this particular company. PI Industry 3400 के below closing, now it is inching towards 3000 levels, and after sort of this move you can see how in just immediately it reverses, and this is exactly the reason why you should not be just jumping into the trade, but rather wait for important levels to take out. जिस तरह से मैंने बोला 2700 important level है, जब तक ये is not taken out we won't be interested. Similarly PNB is also this is trying to go towards the levels of 42, but I am pretty sure अगर ये 38 levels को अगर breach करती है, this will automatically correct more towards 35. Polycab also is trying to move and trying to consolidate nicely above at this all-time high levels. So let's see अगर ये Polycab में कोई move आती है. Power Grid also is able to hold the levels of 190, but going forward मुझे लगता है कि अगर ये जल्दी से 195 के ऊपर closing नहीं देती है, so there can be a huge profit booking, and this can automatically drive the price again towards the levels of 180, और अगर ये हुआ तो वो 180 भी breach कर लेगी. So these structures are very sort of these are very बहुत नाजुक ये स्ट्रक्चर्स होती है, सो कुछ भी अगर गलती स्ट्रक्चर्स बनाती हैं, सो डेफिनेटली a lot of shorts will start getting created. So going forward, the reason for this, why this is important, is it gave a good closing above this particular 180 levels, which was both of a psychological hurdle as well as a resistance, as well as it was in a box. उसके बाद ये consolidate नहीं करके next immediately उसका जो next resistance था उसको भी तोड़ के निकल गई because of this momentum, and this is exactly not good for any technical analysis, because now the chances of it failing is much higher, it becomes higher. So and with the chances getting higher, so basically right now is more of a not a buy in dips but rather sell on rise. और ऐसे स्ट्रक्चर्स में जब इतने शॉर्ट्स बनती रहेंगी, देन इवेंचुअली वन ऑफ दीज डेज अगर ये 190 के नीचे क्लोजिंग देना स्टार्ट कर दी, then it will invalidate this whole good move, and then again it will come towards 180 और तब 180 को भी breach करने की कोशिश करेगी. PVR, very nice consolidation is happening at all-time highs, so let's see, there are a lot of movies lined up. I am excited, and so let's see what comes out of in PVR. Ramco Cement also is in a box. RBL Bank is inching towards the levels of 200. Nice consolidation happened, and now it's again inching. I think it should again come towards the levels of 180 just to get some support and just to validate this move. And this would be a good this, a stock should not move like this, where all the important levels are just breached in just a couple of sessions, and this actually makes the stocks much more vulnerable for immediate corrections, whereas the moves like this should follow with some dips, and then people can enter, people who are with weak hands they can exit, and then eventually the movement of the stock should happen. REC is in a box 160 or 150 के बीच में. It tried to give us a good breakout, but eventually it again came in the box, and this is not good. Going forward, अगर 160 के ऊपर closing नहीं आती, it will again immediately correct towards 150, and this time it will even the chances are high it will break the levels of 150. Reliance, nice consolidation. It was able to hold the levels of 2500. Fantastic move. It was close near 2520 levels. Of course, Reliance is has been one of the forerunners. And ये हमने जब ये candle बनी थी, we talked about how a candle like this does not necessarily mean that the move is gone. You can see in 3 or 4 sessions it was able to take it out. Similarly, those sessions may at least is trying to move towards that all-time high levels. And we are actually very much optimistic as it is able to hold the levels of 2500. Sale is more in a box, nothing much. SBI Life also is an insurance company. We are staying away for a few months, and let's see how all this whole stake sales which are happening and FIIs or promoters trying to take out some profit. So we will wait for all further connections. Of course, every of these companies is SBI Life, HDFC Life, ICICI Prudential Life, ICICI Lombard. These are all good companies, and so we would be then making some positions. State Bank of India is always making higher lows, and this is good. Going forward, ये अगर 460 के ऊपर अगर closing देगी, then again we can be inching towards the levels of new all-time high at 480 levels and beyond. Shree Cement, nice consolidation. This is a typical bullish structure, but eventually for the bullish structure it has to give a closing of 30,000. जब तक वो नहीं आती है, this is not actually a good structure, and any move अगर ये जो particular candle थी, there was absolutely no follow up buying, which actually is not good. और अगर ये 28,500 के levels को अभी अगर breach करना start की, then again it will even break 28,000 levels. Siemens is also trying to consolidate, is nothing much. SRF is also this is a typical bearish structure. अगर ये 10,700 actually, SRF was just in a matter of 2,000-3,000 just a few months ago, right? अभी 10,000 हो गई है, 11,000 हो गई, so it's actually very hard for people like me to change so often, because this is good. But abhi going forward, I think this is more of a bearish move, or is all time high agar ye breach karke agar move karti hai, then it's good. If not, and agar ye 10,700 on especially agar ye 10,500 levels अगर breach करती है, this will be detrimental, और ये 10,000 levels को easily एक या 2 sessions में भी reach कर सकती है. Shriram Transport Finance is dancing at 1,300 levels. It should be ये actually एक box में ही थी, and I don't know why people were so much optimistic in Shriram Transport Finance. Technical perspective में ऐसी कोई move expected भी नहीं थी, and so it corrected, and now it came towards 13,000. So going forward अभी लग रहा है ये फिर 14,000 और 13,000 के box में ही रहेगी. Star is also in a box, nothing much. Sun Pharma, fantastic move. हमने इसको ट्रेड किया था from 791, it went towards 820, and then from there immediately it went towards new 52-week high of 830, and then again it's trying to get this. I think one of these days ऐसे consolidate करके 800 levels पे आएगी, and then it will be interesting for us to see what's the next move we are going to expect from Sun Pharma. Sun TV is also more in a box. This is nothing much of an interest. Syngene came towards 600 levels, and now it is just trying to get some support. In general, this is more of a box structure, and any closing below 600 will again drive the stock much lower. In general, I'm not very much a fan of this company from a fundamental perspective. Tata again, nice consolidation. We talked about how 850 levels से ये easily 950 levels तक यहाँ पे पहुँच गई थी, which was all time high, and now it's consolidating, trying to hold the levels of 900. That's actually very good and important. Tata Consumer, the day it broke 850, now you can see we talked about how 800 is coming, and that's exactly what happened in the last session. I think Tata Consumer is again in a box, और अगर immediately कोई 820-25 के ऊपर अगर immediate move नहीं आई, so there can be more damage. Tata Motors, very nice consolidation is happening at above 320 levels, and this is absolutely fine. We हमारा जो टारगेट है फॉर द मंथ ऑफ अक्टूबर एंड नवंबर, एंड होपफुली कोई अगर बैड न्यूज़ नहीं आई, so definitely it is inching towards new 52-week high, and we are definitely going to make positions. Tata Power, fantastic move. It gave a new all-time high every day, and now it's a good move. The only problem with this structure, as I said earlier, जैसे हम discuss कर रहे थे in power grid, that is good to have a flow, but right now again we have to see अगर ये 160 लेवल्स को एटलीस्ट, स्पेशली मैं देख रहा हूँ ये 157 लेवल्स में आके उसको हमेशा एक सपोर्ट मिल रही है, 157, 158, एंड दिस अगर ये होती रही, सो दैट वुड बी एक्चुअली वेरी गुड, व्हाट यू से, अ वेरी गुड पॉइंटर कि गोइंग फॉरवर्ड शायद इसमें और भी बहुत मोमेंटम बाकी है. टाटा स्टील टिपिकल बियरिश, नाइसली कंसोलिडेटिंग, 1400 के ऊपर ही हम इंटरेस्टेड होंगे. इन जनरल आई थिंक दिस इज मोर ऑफ अ बॉक्स, एंड आई थिंक द दो पीपल आर राइटिंग ऑफ ऑल द steel related companies. I think this downturn is just a short deviation from the actual trend, and maybe one of these days all the steel companies will again be the top gainers in Nifty 50. TCS also is 3800 levels को breach कर रही है, so it's basically it's more in a box, nothing much. Tech Mahindra also 1400 levels को breach कर पाई, and now it's again trying to enter the 1400 levels, so there is absolutely not much of a trading opportunity for us. From a position perspective, मैं IT को कैसे play करूँगा for the next week, I've already discussed extensively in part 1, so the strategy still holds over here. Titan made a new all-time high, and this was exactly very much evident from the day it gave this closing. तब से हमने बोला था कि it's inching towards 2200, it went towards 2190 levels, and now again it is trying to consolidate. These structures are fantastic. जब तक 2100 के नीचे closing नहीं आती, there's absolutely nothing to worry. In one of these days, अगर ये 2100 के करीब आई, और then we would be seeing if there is some buying of the dip, and then we will be taking positions accordingly. Trend Pharma, ये strategy हमने बहुत बार डिस्कस की है, trying to buy near 3000 levels and try to sell near 3200 levels. ये एक बॉक्स में है, and this strategy has worked well. It even made an all-time high on this particular day where we were able to book our positions, which you should be doing at any new all-time highs, because this is how the structure is moving. Just like you can see in the trend, it went towards an all-time high, but it was unable to hold the levels of 1050, and this is also very typical, which is happening with all the new all-time highs. Of course, Tata Power also, you can see it made an all-time high, and then there was some profit booking. It was not able to hold the level. Of course, in the next 2-3 sessions, because of the news flow and because of the sentiment of the market and because of the sentiment of the sector, the stock was able to make new 52-week high, but that's a different thing. In general, you should always be ready to book your profits vigorously, just to make sure that all the profits that you have gained is not lost. Of course, from the short-term portfolio which you have, for long-term, of course, you can keep companies like Torrent Pharma, Trent, Tata Power. So these are definitely going to be in your favor, hopefully. Torrent Power also got a good support from 500 levels, below 500, and this is very interesting structure, because this is exactly which validates हम जो 500 तोड़ के ऊपर आए थे, अभी भी हम 500 पे हमारे buyers हैं, and people are still carrying positions. So these are very good structures, जो एक बहुत ही stable, बहुत ही एक powerful breakout और बहुत ही एक powerful structure का की पहचान है. And I really like structures like this, as these are much more reliable structures. Just like these are very reliable structures, but this is not a reliable structure for me. Any structure which moves because of momentum is a good short-term trade. It's good. You should be a part of it. This is how you make money, quick money. लेकिन from a long-term perspective, or even for a medium term, if you lose your focus, one of these days a heavy profit booking can actually erode away all your profits. TVS Motor was able to give a closing of 560. It seems like there were a lot of positions added, and this was very evident that a move over 560 will come, because it was making a higher lows. So one of these days it was in the cards, and now let's see ये इसको किस तरह से कैरी फॉरवर्ड करती है. अगर ये फिर 560 के नीचे इमीडिएटली रिवर्स करती है, दैट विल बी डेट्रीमेंटल फॉर द स्ट्रक्चर, और हम अपने शॉर्ट पोजीशंस क्रिएट करेंगे, एंड वी वुड बी अगेन टारगेटिंग द लेवल्स ऑफ 520. UBL, this is a typical bearish structure. It's unable to hold give a closing of 1600, and that's very much important for it to give. Ultrachem also is more in a box, nothing much. UPL also हम बोले थे 700 के नीचे closing would be detrimental. It came to a 700. There is a buying happening, which actually showcases that अगर ये 700 levels को hold कर पाए, then going forward it will again try to go towards the levels of 750. Vedanta 280 और 300 के बीच में है. जब तक 300 के ऊपर closing नहीं आती, there is not much. In general, these are very bearish structures. 280 के below closing अगर किसी भी दिन आई because of some news flow or because of some headwinds for the sector, then theoretically the whole structure will crumble. And in general, I don't have any positions in Vedanta, nor I am planning to make any positions in Vedanta. I have my favorite companies, Tata Steel and Jsw Steel, and I want to stick with them. Voltas, nice consolidating since the start of time, and it's still ongoing. But Baraso level is able to hold. Let's see if it is able to give us a move towards in the next week. One of these days it has to give a move either in the positive side or on the negative side. We are just ready for the trade, and we are just waiting for it. Wipro also 650 levels को breach की, and now it is consolidating. These are not good structures, and these are अगर कोई भी move अगर 625 के नीचे अगर आती है, this will automatically correct towards levels of 600. Thanks a lot for listening. Hope this video gave you some ideas. In general, the market is not very decisive, and every day the stocks they keep on changing. So one of the day I am trading and I'm playing with say Tata Power, the next day or Torrent Power, and the next day I'm playing with Bata India. And so the stocks are always keep on changing on which particular day, which particular sector the stock will move. In general, of course, positions in Bata, Dixon, they are looking really good. And this market is just like Muthoot Finance, which is also what I tweeted about earlier during market hours. You can see it on the last Friday, and you can see this move came in. Now I don't know whether this move will carry forward the momentum and make a new all-time high. So this is something which is very hard to predict in this kind of a market. But in general, I think and also trend, we created positions in trend, and here you can see it made a new all-time high. Similarly, I have now positions carrying for and India, where I want it to make a new all-time high. So this is how we are playing the market. In general, the market is still perfectly fine. It is able to hold the levels it should have maintained, but we don't know how this is going to work out. In general, agar aap if you're talking about a weekly perspective, I think today at on 4th or 3rd of October, I think the next video जब मैं 10th of October weekend में analysis करूँगा, I think my bias would be more on the bullish side way back then. And I think the main reason for it will be कुछ sectors जिसमें बहुत heavy profit booking हुई है, and they would be again be able to hold the important levels. I think from a banking sector is not that bad, and also finance sector is also not that bad. On the top of that, IT में अच्छी profit booking हुई है, and then it's now consolidating. So I think going forward on the 10th of October, I think my tone would be that all the positions I made in these particular sectors, in these particular companies which I have selected, I think all of them would be giving me good profitable trades. Thanks a lot for listening. As always, please consult your financial advisor, as this video is just for educational purpose. Bye bye.